Be comfortable with discomfort. According to this book titled Hidden Potential by Adam Grant, the best way to grow as a person quickly is to embrace and seek discomfort. That's where all the learning is from, because you are doing the things that you are not fully prepared to do. If you keep doing things that you are comfortable with, you won't dare to explore more things outside of the comfort zone, which might contain things and experiences and activities that might change your life, and you definitely would not want to miss them. So here are some pointers about being comfortable with doing the things that you are not fully prepared to do, which you might want to take note of. Number 1, why you are avoiding things that you are uncomfortable with. Most people naturally stick to experiences and activities that they already know. They enjoy doing things that they are prepared for, things that the outcomes are predictable, things where they don't risk feeling stupid or bad at it, and they don't try to learn new skills apart from what they already know. But it is not necessarily the best way for you to grow. When you stay in that zone for long periods of time, you miss out on the whole world of skills, experiences, and opportunities that you don't even know exist yet. You now give yourself the chance to try them. Most of the time, we are not really avoiding doing the activity itself, but the feeling that comes with it when we are new at doing the activity. A few years ago, I thought I would not enjoy programming, not because I tried programming myself, but because I did not enjoy writing. So when I saw how much writing is involved in programming, it kind of scared me, to the point that when I was choosing my course of study, I tend to avoid courses that involve writing or programming. I then picked a course called Mechatronics, thinking that the course is mainly just mechanical and electronics, because mechatronics. Turns out I was wrong. There was more coding and programming involved than I expected. We had to learn Python, Raspberry Pi, and some ladder programming for pneumatics. But too bad, I didn't really have the choice anymore, so I just stuck with it. Fast forward, after one semester of learning programming, I never expect myself to do so well in the module. I was able to grasp the programming concepts easily and am able to apply them into projects myself. And do note that ChatGPT was not really as good as it is right now. From then on, I started to gain interest in programming and decided to explore more programming languages. One of the languages that I learned is JavaScript, and learned the applications of it, like in app development or web development, which then I dedicated a whole channel to it. So moral of the story, don't automatically avoid activities that you think you will feel uncomfortable doing them. You will never know if you will enjoy doing the activity if you don't give them a try for extended period of time. But the uncomfortable feeling between I have no idea what I'm doing and I really enjoy doing is unavoidable. Which leads me to my second point. The painful middle is where most people quit. When you decide to learn something new, everything will feel unclear at first. You are doing things that you literally have no experience in, and you do not know what learning the skill will entail. It will feel like a fog of nothingness, and you will feel uncomfortable with it. There's no secure path in front of you, and most people just stop because they are scared on what will happen if they do. But once you take the time to slowly figure out on what is the next logical step for you to take, everything will start to slowly but surely start to make sense. And if that step feels uncomfortable or awkward, most likely than not, you are heading the right direction. It means that you are going beyond what you already know and you are growing. Over time, the comfort will grow as you continue learning the skill and be continuously doing the things that you are comfortable with. And point 3, you are bound to make mistakes. If you're trying something new, mistakes are unavoidable. You do not know what is right yet, so of course you are bound to get things wrong. But that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing though. Every mistake that you make is just one less mistake that you will make in the future if you learn from it. So if you make many mistakes in the early stages, you will end up with fewer mistakes that you will make in the future. And then slowly but surely you will know what the correct option will look like. Aiming to make many mistakes in the early stages will help you remember the correct answers, and then will motivate you to keep on learning. When you're progressing through life, try to measure your progress through the number of mistakes that you make. The more mistakes that you make, the faster you will improve, and the less that they will bother you. Absorbing knowledge. When you're improving at anything, it's not only about the quantity of information that you take in, but it's the quality of them. When it comes to seeking or gathering information, there are different ways that people will engage with them. Two people can take the same information but grow at different rates. The difference usually comes down to how they are engaging on what they are learning, and the difference in how they engage with them usually comes down to 2 habits. The first habit is how you seek information, whether is it passively consuming the information or actively seeking them out. Passive consumption is basically scrolling, listening, reading, and letting the information come to you. Active learning means asking questions, testing ideas, and going your way to find input to help you improve. Sure, both can teach you something, but both will lead you to completely different path, which I will explain later. The second habit is why you are seeking the information in the first place. Are you doing it to protect your ego, or are you doing it to actually get better? Ego in this context is part of you that wants to feel competent, capable, and right. When you passively consume the information and are ego-driven, you will naturally stick to ideas that make you feel good about yourself and ignore anything that challenges you. When you are actively seeking the information and are ego-driven, you might appear open to learning. But the moment that something threatens your self-image, you ignore it. If you are growth-oriented but only passively consuming, you are open to learning but you are letting someone else decide on what you should be learning. The biggest growth happens when you combine both together, actively seeking out the information while being growth-oriented. That means deliberately exposing yourself to feedback and ideas that might feel uncomfortable and staying open to them anyways. You're actively seeking out information yourself and then try to learn from what information that you receive. But when receiving information, there are mainly two types that you will receive: feedback or advice. Feedback tends to focus on how well you did something in the past, whereas advice leans more towards how you can do better next time. Advice tends to be more useful than feedback because the past is already past. What you can focus on is then on what you can do now. Instead of asking, do you have any feedback for my performance? Ask, where can I improve, or what's the one thing that I can improve on? This to ensure that you are given information that you can act on currently to improve the future outcome. But not only that you need to ask the correct questions, you need to ask the correct questions to the correct person. The best kind of people you should seek information or feedback or advice from is people who has the combination of these three: wants what the best for you, knows you well, and has relevant expertise. It is better to have all three of these aspects. If the person cares about you and who you are familiar with but not credible, the information that you get might be wrong. If the person knows you well and has relevant experiences or expertise but does not really care about you, they might not be trying to help you. If the person has relevant experiences or expertise and cares about you, but you are not familiar with them, the information that you get might not apply to you. Be imperfect. When you are on a journey to unlocking your hidden potential, it is not about getting everything perfect. You need to learn how to tolerate imperfections. There are common traits that perfectionists have that tend to hinder their progress. Number one, they learn to judge their worth based on how few mistakes that they make. Every flaw that they make tends to affect their self-esteem, and every mistake that they make tends to feel like a failure. Instead of seeing errors as information, they see them as proof that they are not good enough. Another trait is that they excel at structured environments. In school, they excel in tests because the questions are predictable, the answers are clear, and success comes from repetition. But in the real world, it is far more unpredictable. The answers tend to be not clear, and progress usually comes from lots of trial and error. And as someone that associates mistakes with failure, this kind of environment may feel uncomfortable for them. So they avoid taking risks and they stick to what they already know. And over time, this creates tunnel vision where growth kind of slows down. So you may be asking, how do I fix this? The trick to overcoming perfectionism is to change what you measure. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for growth. That doesn't mean that you cannot have high standards. You can, but make them personal. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not to the imaginary perfect version of you. You need to be kinder to yourself and give permission for yourself to make mistakes. That's where all the learning and growth happens. Success is not much about how close you get to perfection. It's more about the progress and how much you overcome along the way. So when you're done with a task or activity, ask yourself, did you make yourself better today? Are you proud of the work that you have done? And if you answer yes for either of them, that's progress and that's enough. So yeah, I hope that this will help you improve your life further. Anyways, just my opinion. Bye.